Every dream needs a guide, and every purposeful living needs that voice that goes ahead of it.
When we talk about mentorship, we're talking about a relationship between two people where one person is more experienced and that person provides guidance for the willing party. We cannot exist as islands. We cannot assume that we know everything about how to navigate the vicissitudes of life. The need for guidance, the need for just understanding life sort of spurred me to start to seek mentorship.
How do you know that, okay, at this time, I need a mentor?
Or you can initiate a mentor-mentee relationship when you find someone who has succeeded in the path that you're towing in life. You need to be strategically positioned. You need to be sure that the brick you're lifting is needed for the work and you will be noticed. If you notice something is going south in your mentor-mentee relationship, if you are the mentee, do not slam the door. Always ensure that the bridge is still there so that you can be able to go in and out at one more time or in future. As much as it lies within you, the Bible says, live peaceably with all men. And that includes your upline relationship. Never be too proud to ask for help. Never be too proud. You need to come as a student. You need to come as one who is willing and ready to learn. And when you do that, the teacher in your mentor will definitely show up.
Every dream needs a guide, and every purposeful living needs that voice that goes ahead of it. As a filmmaker, one of my biggest challenge was navigating myself into what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do in life. Right from 9 years old, I knew I was going to be a filmmaker. But I didn't know how to go about it. I went for auditions, I dabbled into things, I tried here and there, I organized stage dramas, but it wasn't all coming together. It was failing and struggling. But one day, I met somebody who was already in the art of filmmaking, and he held my hands and showed me the ropes, step by step, on how to become a filmmaker. And today, I can confidently call myself a filmmaker with pride. So today we'll be talking about mentorship on a topic we tagged Dreams Don't Come Alone, the power of mentorship in purposeful living. And today I have with me an amazing person who is going to help me delve through this topic. I single-handedly, carefully, craftily selected this person because of how passionate they are about mentorship and the role of mentorship in the lives of people. And this is no other person than Tosin Babalola. Hi, Tosin.
Hi, Choma. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tosin. Tosin has been my friend for how long now? 13
Over a
years?
decade.
Oh my God. And then Tosin, we disconnected for a bit when she traveled to Lagos. And we all got busy in our different life. And now she's back to Abuja, and I felt like my sister is back. And it's so good to have you here, talk about mentorship. I see what you do on social media every time, advocating for people to have mentors and the reasons they have mentors. Why mentorship? Why do you need mentors in your life?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. But I think most importantly, thank you for bringing me on the show. I must commend you for all the good work that you're doing and everything you have accomplished so far. I am super proud of you and I'm rooting for you every time.
Guys.
Every time.
So much.
Yes. So why mentorship? I think we should first of all take it from what it means, and then we get to see the bearing of the meaning on its importance. When we talk about mentorship, we're talking about a relationship between two people, not necessarily older or younger per se, but relationship between two people where one person is more experienced and that person provides guidance for the willing party. So either it could happen in any phase or at any sphere of human existence, either personally, either professionally. You have mentors in various aspects of life. So that is what mentorship is. And it is important because we cannot exist as islands. We cannot assume that we know everything about how to navigate the vicissitudes of life. So as such, we must be willing to learn from those who have gone ahead. Yeah, so for me, that's one major reason why mentorship is important.
I like the fact that you kept on saying willing. So because for you to be able to receive the guidance that whoever you're giving yourself to mentor you is giving back to you, you have to have a willingness to be able to actualize it. Okay, so why in your journey, at what point did you realize that you needed mentors? What was that striking thing that happened? And you felt like, was there one thing, or you just stumbled into it, and then now realized the importance, or there was something that happened to you and you felt like you needed to have mentors?
In retrospect, I've been able to pinpoint why I started seeking mentorship. But in the moment while it was happening, I didn't really know what was going on with me. So now I realized that, first of all, it was a void I had. The fact that I'm an orphan and I do not have both parents alive. So I realized that a lot of people who have maybe one parent alive, or actually do not have any of the parents alive, seek mentorship more than those who do have both parents alive. So the need for guidance, the need for just understanding life sort of spurred me to start to seek mentorship. I didn't just want to sit in church anymore, just hear all the messages and then go home. I wanted to sit with someone to say, okay, one-on-one, this is how I applied what was said, and these are the feedbacks that I have. You understand? And another thing that sort of spurred me into seeking mentorship is the fact that I could see other people making mistakes around me, and they were trying to seek mentorship, but they were failing at the process. So you don't just desire mentorship and you start to do it anyhow. No, there's a way to go into it. The Bible says the labor of fools wearies them because they do not know how to enter into the city. So you do not just say you want mentorship, but you don't know how to, and you're just doing it anyhow. So that thing about helping others position strategically for mentorship was what made me start to talk about it even more. That, hey, you don't just go to people and say this or that. There's a way to go about it. Then I started digging deeper and I started speaking more about it.
I like that. You said you don't just go to somebody and just say, hey, I want you to be my mentor.
No,
there are ways to go about it. And just like requirements, I'm sure that there are also things you need to have or know or want to do that would now lead you to, saying, okay, this is a person, I'm working up to this person. So what I guess my question is, how do you know that, okay, at this time I need a mentor? What do you see in your life that makes you feel like I need a mentor? And how do you identify the right mentor for you or for that purpose?
Okay. On the first one, I would say that you can start or you can initiate a mentor-mentee relationship when you find someone who has succeeded in the path that you're towing in life. If you want to be an architect, for instance, you may decide that, oh, okay, Mrs. Jumoke Adino is successful in architecture, so I need to find a way, to get her to be my mentor, because I need to learn what to do. I can't just jump from point A to point B. Someone has to show me the way. So at that point, you realize that you need a mentor. So when you see someone who has done successfully well, whether in ministry, in business, in your career, whatever it is you do, you can desire mentorship because you want to be like them, because you want to succeed in life. That's just that, for me, that's enough reason to desire mentorship. Then I think the second bit is, how do you now go about it? Okay, there are many ways you can venture into. I would say number one, volunteerism. Yes, you need to learn how to volunteer. And I always like to add, don't just jump on the bandwagon, because today you see call for volunteers, everybody's just jumping on volunteer. No. Get on the team, but get on the bandwagon, but find yourself the best seat. Find yourself the front seat. You need to be strategically positioned. You need to ask yourself, what exactly is the need here? Because it's not just every brick you should go and lift because they say, we need volunteers, somebody has to come and do it. No, you need to be sure that the brick you're lifting is needed for the work and you will be noticed. Now, this is not for vainglory. This is not for vainglory. This is just strategic positioning so that the right people can recognize you and then reward you adequately, of course, at the right time. So you're not just doing it because, I want to prove that I'm the don here. No, I'm doing it because I'm bringing value, and I'm doing it also because there are prospects here. Don't do it because you want to ride on another person's head or you want to climb on their head because you want to shine. No, you're doing it because you're bringing value. So let your value be seen. Let your value be recognized. Let that impact show. And that way you can register in their minds. They will not even have to you will not even have to tell them you need mentorship. They will be the ones to recognize the greatness in you and then begin to help you call it out. Yes. So volunteerism is key. Sometimes you can do it outrightly by asking, but many times when you ask directly, you get a no. People usually get a no. So you cannot just ask outrightly. There has to be something you are bringing to the table. Yes, there has to be something you're bringing to the table so that they will see that you're bringing value at this time. I don't know if I could share an example.
Go ahead, please.
So when I was in Lagos, the church that I was attending, I sort of had this closeness with my pastor at the time, and there were several branches. So what I used to do was that I would listen to the message he has preached in another branch before he gets to my own branch. So let's say he preached 2 days ago at branch A, I would have watched it, digested it, prayed over it, and then eagerly wait and anticipate that he would preach the same message in our own branch. So when he shows up, I'm already I have questions already. So when I sit with him, I'm already saying, you said this at the other branch, but you didn't say it here. But this was what came to my mind. And then he just begins to share with me and all of that. So they need to know that you're bringing value to them. And as such, they can recognize you and then even offer to mentor you.
One of the things that I hear you say is that you need to be deliberate. I hear you say that in so many contexts, because number one, you mentioned that you don't just wake up and go somewhere and volunteer. It has to be in line with what you are interested in doing, and it has to be connected with the mentor you are seeking,
what they need
and what they need.
Yes.
Because that means you have to be deliberate enough to not just see somebody and desire their greatness, but also to study them to see what can I offer them.
Yes. Yeah.
What is lacking? Do they need help with social media? Somebody handling social media, and you can say, "Ma, don't you think I looked at your social media page and I feel like you can do better than that. Is anybody handling your social media?" And I said, "No, nobody's handling my social media. Why don't I handle your social media for you?" "Oh no, I don't think I'm no, don't worry, I'll do it for free. If that is okay by you, and you know what, you don't have to worry, I'll do it with my phone. I'll just record you and then I'll cut it and I'll send to you." By the time you send once, 2 times, 3 times, they would feel like they owe you something. And they feel like
they give you access.
Yes.
They give you access.
Access.
So it depends on what you do with
Yeah.
your access.
Yeah.
If sometimes people abuse access.
True.
And sometimes people assume they are in mentorship when the only thing they actually have is access. So don't get it. Don't mix it up. Access is not mentorship.
Yeah.
You need to harness the value in access. You need to understand the protocol in engagement, right? When you have access, so that as you engage properly, you now get into mentorship.
I love what you said. You said access is not mentorship. How do you know the difference between access and mentorship?
Good. So your mentor calls you up to come with them to events, occasion, this and that, and you are usually, or you get to be with them in the same space from time to time. So you probably hear some of their conversations and you know a little bit of personal information about them. That's access. That is no mentorship. So for adventure, you take a picture with them or something, or we see you with them. Don't come and tell us that they are your mentor. You only have access. The whole time they rode with you from Karo to Gwagwalada, they probably said 2 or 5 sentences to you. But when mentorship is deeper.
Yeah.
Mentorship is deeper. In mentorship, they are not uptight. They are relaxed. You know, they want to listen to you because they know that even though you're here with several symptoms of whatever is doing you, the roots is where they are going to try to get to. So they are relaxed, they let their guards down, and they can attend to you. But in access, they haven't let their guards down.
Is it possible for somebody to be mentoring you without them knowing they are mentoring you?
That is possible because it's not conservative. Many times we're already used to the conservative kind of mentorship, especially the ones that happen in the workplace and all. But there are people who can mentor you and you won't even know that mentorship is already going on.
Yeah.
For instance, I see that happen a lot between me and my senior friends. So I call them senior friends. Because even though we can sit and say, "Hey, what's up? How are you? This, and that," they are more experienced in certain things.
Yeah.
They are maybe a couple of years older than me. They are married. They have 2-3 kids. Do you understand? So the fact that maybe we get to do projects together and we just say hello, hi, and all does not mean I can't go to them for questions. And I've also realized that this kind of people in those informal settings stay longer than those
very
conventional,
formal,
conservative kind of mentorship, right? So it's even almost safer when it's informal because you are able to relate with them at a level where you're unafraid that they will go, right? And it's not pen on paper. You are not saying, "Oh, you're my mentor." The moment you say mentor, sometimes the person pulls away.
Yeah, it feels like
It's like a red. And it's a burden. It's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So they feel like your expectation of them is heightened.
Yes.
So it shuts down their capacity to even be able to deliver anything to you.
Yeah, that is so true. That's so profound. So I mean, I also hear you say, no is the answer because I said Jim Rohn is my mentor all the time. I say one of my biggest mentors is Jim Rohn. One of my biggest mentors is Sarah Omako, Pastor Sarah Omako. I haven't met Jim Rohn. I have not. I only see him on TV. Jim Rohn, and the coach and mentor. I only see him on TV, and I watch him and I gulp down his messages and all. But yet he has shaped my life more than a lot of people have shaped my life. The other day, somebody was looking at me and was watching Pastor Sarah on stage, and he said, "You guys act alike." I said before.
It's not only you.
I said before, Uncle, I have been eating and drinking her for years. What do you expect? Of course,
You should start talking like her, moving like her.
Exactly. So, yeah, so I agree with you 100% that your mentor doesn't have to be direct. Now, the next question I want to find out, yeah? Have you ever had to outgrow a mentor? And how did you know that you have outgrown the mentor? And what was the process like?
That's a very tricky and sensitive question.
Yeah.
Usually, or many mentorship relationships that I've had and that I've seen do not last forever.
Yeah.
Mentorship usually does not last forever. People just carry that notion of, this person. There's this, I call it initial gra-gra.
Yeah.
When you first meet a mentor, because you've really longed to be with that person, you automatically assume that, this is forever. However, we forget that because we're human beings, we have weaknesses.
Yeah.
So as you go on in that relationship, something usually happens. Sometimes it could be negative.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be positive. I had a mentor one time who I trusted so much. I loved so much, and she loved me too, really deeply. But one time she made a statement in an unguarded moment, and it hit me so bad, and she didn't even know, and I just couldn't recover. At the time, I now told her, and she apologized. She blessed me like nobody has ever blessed me before, but somehow I just couldn't get around it because it felt like, this is someone who I really trust, and then they get to say this. But again, I still learn to give excuses for people.
Yeah.
So most mentorship relationships don't last forever. Sometimes people can relocate, but I'll just say this, that if your mentorship, if you notice something is going south in your mentor-mentee relationship, if you are the mentee, do not slam the door.
Don't burn the cable.
Always ensure that the bridge is still there, so that you can be able to go in and out at one more time.
Yeah.
Or in future.
Yeah.
What happens many times is that we feel as mentees that we have a legitimate reason to just cut off the relationship. How could I have served this person for such a long time, and this is how they repay me? No way. I'm working. So you send the nastiest text message, you bully them, you even blackmail them, or you report them, to their superior, and you just cut off that relationship in a very rude manner. That approach is wrong.
Yeah.
As much as it lies within you, the Bible says, live peaceably with all men. And that includes your upline relationship in terms of mentor-mentee. So try as much as possible not to slam the door. Just ensure that the bridge is still intact. Don't burn the bridge so that you can go back in at any point in time when you need them, because their reputational capital is still the same. The fact that you left their life, it doesn't mean that they will reduce in any way. Okay, the goodwill that they have is still intact, and you might need that goodwill someday soon. So they would still have to remember your good works. But if you leave a bitter taste in their mouth, even if they are at fault, right? When the time comes that you need them, they just may not want to offer help.
Wow. What is the role of vulnerability in a mentor-mentee relationship?
The role of who?
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability. Okay. I think the reason some mentees do not like to be vulnerable anymore is because their fingers have been burnt. Like I said, not every mentor-mentee relationship becomes successful or ends well.
Yeah.
People have been raped because
mentor-mentees relationship.
Somebody said, I'm your mentor. There are mentors who are tormentors, right? So you need to learn how to put the negative experience behind. I have friends who just look at me and say, Tosin, you know what is your mentor-mentee thing you're just carrying up and down? It works for only you. It doesn't work around here. But what they forget is that I also have my own share of negative experiences in mentorship. I just shared one with you. Yes. So that does not mean I should not desire a mentor anymore. I still do in certain aspects of my life.
Yes.
Vulnerability is still a very important part, because it's like you going to see the physician and he wants to give you injection on your bum, but you're not willing to pull down your pants, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be able to do that, or else you're not going to be well.
True.
If you claim to need direction, guidance, and you want to learn from their experience, you need to let them know where the matter is doing you gong, so that they can administer the help that you need. So without vulnerability, I know mentorship going anywhere.
Wow, it has been incredible.
You need to be able to open up. Yeah. You just need to apply caution.
Caution, right?
Who is the mentor? What circle did you even meet? Where did you even meet this person? Who are the people around them? What's the network like?
What are people? The values?
What are their values, right? Are they people that you can trust and really emulate? Because there's that one thing you really like about them.
Yeah.
That one thing you really want to become. But there are other things around them.
Yeah.
So for instance, your mentor is successful in his consulting business and is a phenomenal leader, but he has problem with women. So he asks you to come and see him.
Yeah.
In his suit at the hotel. As much as you really want to learn all the leadership, business consulting, yada, you need to be able to apply wisdom so you can circumvent, the dynamics and know, okay, I'll pick this one. I need to be careful here so that I don't fall into a ditch here. Do you understand? And then still learn from them. But where you can't see, it be like, say, just make up your mind to forfeit, because people have been damaged.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think what you're saying is we should know when to. The fact that this person, you've identified this person as a mentor, does not mean you should die there.
Vulnerable. What I'm trying to say is, they will tell you it's part of vulnerability.
Yeah.
But you will not know what you're trading off.
So you need to
draw the lines. Boundaries. Exactly.
Yes.
In every mentor, there has to be boundaries.
See this one? I'm not passing this line.
Exactly. But many times mentees make mistakes because they're just after that thing.
Yeah.
They want to, they want to constantly have access to that person. And then they begin to sell off their own values. Because for crying out loud, this person is renowned. This person, do you understand? But because of your closeness to them, you now get to see their weaknesses. But because you really want to be like them, you're ready to just still go on all the same.
Wow.
In the name of vulnerability.
It has been incredible. It has been. I wish we can keep talking about this issue. Like, it can't end. Like, it's so unending. I wish we can keep talking about it, but unfortunately we might have to close the curtain on this one, and maybe we will call back again for us to actually talk more on this mentor-mentee relationship, because it's quite important. You can't do it alone. A lot of people say we're self-made, we're this, but at what cost? What did it cost you? If somebody who has gone the path can just hold your hands and go through the path with you, maybe it will be much more easier and like an easier pill to swallow. I'll let you say one last thing to the audience before we wrap up for today.
Okay, so this is what I would say. When the student in you shows up, right, the teacher in your mentee will also show up. Never be too proud to ask for help. Never be too proud. Today, I see a lot of young people who just go around like they have it all figured out, and it is the mentor who does not know. But you need to come as a student.
Yeah.
You need to come as one who is willing and ready to learn. And when you do that, the teacher in your mentor will definitely show up. And together, you will journey towards that desired destination.
Wow. It says together you will journey towards that desired destination. And I think that's a perfect place to wrap it up for today. It has been incredible talking about actualizing your dream by getting a mentor. This is Minding Your Tomorrow, and my name is Chioma Ezani. Until next time, when we'll bring you yet another topic, something else that we can discuss and make your life work better one step at a time. My name is Chioma Ezani, and this is Minding Your Tomorrow.